Mining is absolutely essential. The world needs our minerals, but then how do we ensure that we do it in a way that is acceptable to society and acceptable for the planet? So that's the journey we're on. How do we concentrate our footprint, reduce energy and water?
Future Smart Mining, it's about having a positive impact on the areas in which we operate, the people who we work with and the communities with whom we engage.
Una forma en la que maximizamos el cuidado y el aprovechamiento de recursos valiosos y obtenemos mediante el uso de tecnología de vanguardia el máximo valor de nuestros activos.
Our first phase of Future Smart Mining is already rolling out in the business.
So we've got physical technologies and digitalisation being put in place. And now in Peru, we have the opportunity to bring this all together whilst protecting the environment.
Quellaveco is the world's largest undeveloped copper project. It's in the southern part of Peru, in a quite a beautiful area.
It's on a site that spans many kilometers, from a high mountain of 4,000 meters down to 2,500 meters and even down to sea level at some point.
Tiene un potencial de reservas de 1.7 billones de toneladas. El proyecto es para una capacidad de tratamiento de 127.500 toneladas día.
Copper is a very important metal for Anglo American and the world. It's going to be one of the leading value drivers of green energy, so we see it as a valuable metal for the future.
It's really important to us that Quellaveco is a representation of the best technologies, the best approach that we could put in place. Before the detailed design took place, there was an extensive community dialogue program. That work really shaped the project.
Quellaveco is an opportunity for the industry to build a sustainable mine from scratch.
We don't have to be retrofitting all of the initiatives to an existing operation.
From day one, we are implementing our blueprint for a sustainable mine.
Central to delivering our sustainable mining plan are our technical innovations around water, energy, digitalisation and the legacy of the operation. Water is critical in the processing and refining of ore at site.
But water scarcity in Peru is an issue. And it was important to the community, and Anglo American water was conserved in an effective manner.
So what we've done at Quellaveco is quite unusual.
En la mesa de diálogo, tanto los representantes de la sociedad con los representantes de Anglo American, que llegaron a un acuerdo que esta era una propuesta muy importante.
Traditionally, mines get their water from the closest river. In the case of Quellaveco, that's the Asana.
The Asana River runs through the Quellaveco site, but that river is used by the local communities. So we've agreed to divert the river through a tunnel.
We built a lengthy tunnel diverting the water around the site and out of the site. And apart from the fact that its bed has changed, the river is still intact.
So the amount of water available to the community from the Asana River will be the same. And we're going to obtain our water from alternate sources. Firstly, from the Titira River.
The Titira River, which is 90 kilometers northeast of the site, and it completely transforms our ability to operate in the region. It comes from a volcanic source and has high levels of arsenic and boron, which makes it unfit for human consumption or agricultural use.
Pero el Titira es capaz de proporcionarnos el 80% del agua anual que la operación de Quellaveco requiere.
And actually, when we've used it and we put the water back into the water system, it will be cleaner than when we took it out.
The water from the Titiri River is pumped all the way to Quellaveco. The pipeline crosses a number of wetlands that are fragile and important ecosystems. As the pipeline's then installed, the wetland is removed delicately in small squares, then returned to its original position, ensuring that we are not leaving any long-term impacts on these systems.
The remaining 20% of water we're going to take from the Vizcachas River and the newly built Vizcachas Dam.
La presa Vizcachas tiene una capacidad de almacenamiento de 60 millones de metros cúbicos. En valor promedio se espera usar 4 millones de metros cúbicos para la operación minera.
Gran parte del agua restante van a ser distribuidos a la comunidad para expandir la frontera agrícola, para mejorar la calidad de los cultivos.
This approach to water is a perfect example of how Anglo American can have a positive impact in the areas in which it operates.
We've got a number of targets when it comes to energy. Firstly, that we would be physically carbon neutral across the business by 2040. But on the way through to that, we committed to having a third of our business physically carbon neutral by 2030. Quellaveco will help achieve that in a number of ways.
Uno de los objetivos que empezamos a trazarnos el año pasado fue cómo poder tener nuestra generación de energía con energía renovable. En Perú, a pesar que hay mucho potencial de energía renovable, todavía es muy incipiente en proyectos. Buscamos una forma innovadora.
Anglo American entered into a partnership with the energy company Engie. For a longer than usual period of 15 years,
Y con eso logramos que toda nuestra generación sea con energía renovable. Cumplimos nuestro objetivo de lograr ser una operación verde.
this shows how our blueprint for sustainability goes beyond our operations. It's a long-term investment in the country, meeting the stretch goals as laid out in our sustainable mining plan.
Cuando Quellaveco empiece a operar, va a ser la primera mina totalmente digital e integrada del Perú.
The digital mine is completely new and being developed for Quellaveco to deliver as efficiently and as effectively as we can.
So when we talk about digital mine is a number of things. We're going to be running a fleet here of 6 autonomous Pit Viper 351 drills and 27 autonomous trucks.
Gives us the ability to operate equipment around the clock 24/7. It also gives the ability to execute change management instantaneously.
A good example of this is when there's a traction event where a truck detects a very minor slip, maybe a wheel turned a little bit more than it should have, and the truck recognizes that, and it automatically communicates that to the other trucks. And every other truck automatically, without human intervention, every other truck that comes through that same location will automatically slow down and run through it until they no longer detect any kind of a slip, and then they will begin to raise their speed again. The digital mine concept is also the data side that goes with that. From the drill hole right to the port, Quellaveco, everything is monitored.
We've seen an explosion in the amount of sensing that we can do through all our processes, whether it's the trucks, whether it's the water usage, the energy. There is almost nothing that we can't put a sensor onto.
And that data enables us to build a virtual model of the operation through which we can optimise decision making.
This information is centralised through a central control a room which brings together all the different processes of the entire operation.
It tells us the state of our processes, it can tell us the quality of the rock, it can inform us of changes that we have to make.
For example, the conveyor goes down. That's pretty serious. But what the digital mine concept allows us to do is monitor stock levels across the chain. We can make decisions. What you don't want to do is stop a mill and start it again, as that requires a lot of energy. So maybe there's a slowdown. You're better to fluctuate the actual output levels than to do a start-stop.
Digitalisation will ensure that we are making the absolutely best decisions in every aspect for the business, not only based on cost, but based on sustainability, whether it's water, whether it's energy, whether it's wastage.
Using sensors and drones has also enabled us to be able to map the environmental perspective around the mine site. And if we find out operations are having an impact on a specific species, we've then got the information to make a decision, either to change the way that we're operating, to put actions in place to protect that particular area, or to set up an alternate habitat for those species. We've never before had this huge amount of data to make those decisions. One of the opportunities with Quellaveco being a new mine is that we've been able to think about the regeneration of the mine site post the operations at the beginning.
The closure plan for Quellaveco was part of the community dialogue. So from day one, when we start to move the first rocks and do the first work, we're understanding where that fits in the day we close the mine. And that's the way that we will run the business.
But it's important that we start on the right path now.
Quellaveco will be one of the first mines, particularly here in Peru, that will develop and put in place plans and actions that will be sustainable beyond the life of the mine. The water dam at Vizcachas is an excellent example of this. This will have a legacy well beyond the life of this deposit here.
Tradicionalmente, las minas, cuando cerraban, simplemente cerraban la operación y se iban. Después, al pasar de los años, las minas decidieron que era importante ejecutar algunas medidas de cierre y entre estas medidas, la que más tradicionalmente se usaba era la de rellenar el tajo con agua y con eso daban por cerrada la mina. Hoy en día, Anglo American lo que busca en el cierre de mina es dejar el lugar como estaba o en mejores condiciones. En el caso particular de Quellaveco, la zona del tajo abierto se va a rellenar con material de roca y también con los finos que van a salir de la planta procesadora durante los últimos años de la vida de la mina.
Many operations, many mines around the world will testify to do this as part of their planning. But in Quellaveco, this is part of our commitment to actually start the operation.
El río Asana fue desviado a través de un túnel, donde el agua corre. Finalmente, durante la etapa del cierre, se busca restaurar el cauce del río Asana para poder llevarlo a su flujo natural.
As Quellaveco goes into operation, this is a new chapter in sustainability.
Quellaveco is a showcase of the technical skill of Anglo American.
Quellaveco va a ser un referente para futuros proyectos mineros que puedan seguir los pasos en términos de innovación tecnológica, en términos de responsabilidad social y en términos de poder contribuir de una manera tangible al desarrollo del país y de la región que nos acoge.
And it will evolve, and it's a journey that we are absolutely committed to across all of our sites as we lead the industry in this new era.
We've been able to solve some of the problems that people didn't think could be solved, and hopefully what we've created today is a legacy for the next generation.